What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Hornady Wild checking in once again, back in the building today, guys, and we have in the brand new CMMG Dissent in 338 ARC. Now, guys, this has been a blast. Shooting a brand new round, the 338 ARC, bringing in from Hornady. And I gotta give a huge shout out to Hornady for actually sponsoring us on the ammo for this video, because 338 ARC, a nice round it is. It's pretty expensive. But I kind of understand what the purpose is for this particular round as far as where I'm seeing it at, and where it can be valuable for certain people out there. Now, this is 338 ARC, and I'll show you guys like a close-up of it itself, but this is a subsonic round. This one I want to say is like 319 grains, 307 grains, and then the supersonic round that we got is the 175 grains. So we were shooting both of these. We have a video dropping on this very soon, showing the ballistics of this and its performance compared to that of something in a very similar frame, which is 300 blackout. With that said, though, CMMG dropped these extremely fast, almost right around when the actual caliber of itself was put out there, and we have our hands on a SBR model. We also have in a Yankee Hill Bad Larry, thanks to Silencer Shop. So make sure you check them out. Silencer Shop has been the most easiest way to get silencers out there. Extremely easy. Even also the services with also SBRing platforms is extremely easy. All you gotta do is go to the kiosk and they do the rest of the work for you. So check out Silencer Shop as well. And I want to say thank you to them for supplying us with this Bad Larry here. Salutes to Silencer Shop. CMMG sent out the Dissent in 338. And then we had Hornady get us some of the actual ammo to go along with it, to give you guys a very in-depth review on this particular package. Now, I do got some specs here. Now, this particular set, because there's different barrel lengths, this is the shortest barrel length possible, which is a 6.5-inch barrel length. We went with the shortest length possible. These are available in 10.5 and 16.1. And I gotta say, man, I am very curious to how the 16.1 and 10.5 are now after shooting this one, because I feel like there's still a little bit left in the actual bullet itself that can continue to go down the barrel to give even better overall ballistic performance. But we had a 6.5, totally fine. Now, the 6.5, and as you can see, this is the same thing of any other Dissent out there in other calibers. We know the Dissent has been, you know, moved from, the older name was called the Mutant, of course. Now it's called the Dissent, the MK4, but also is in 5.56, 7.62 by 39. You got 300 blackout. There's tons of different calibers that go through on the Dissent line from CMMG. And I'm very curious, and I'm pretty sure this particular lower, I could just swap it out for any of those uppers out there and be able to run a different caliber that easy because of the lower. This lower on the Dissent is the lower that's utilized on all the other platforms. With that said, it also is utilizing a 350 Legend magazine. So this is a 350 Legend magazine, or my bad, 400 Legend magazine. I thought it said 350. Maybe the other one said 350. But they utilize that with a 338 ARC follower in it. And this gives you 10 rounds on this particular setup right here. I know that Geisley is also coming out with something soon, or they're utilizing like the 6mm ARC magazines, and I think you could switch the follower, or I think the 6mm ARC bullets themselves, just those magazines just work for this particular caliber. But I know that that has been an issue also when it comes to this particular round. As far as with me and this 400 Legend, and I think the other was like a 350 Legend I stated before, they haven't given me an issue with feeding whatsoever when it came to this particular setup. I didn't have any failures to eject or failures to feed or anything of that nature. You got ambies on the lowers here, safe, and it's like a nice 45-degree type of ambi safety. The trigger is a very flat, light bow trigger, but it's not a hair trigger, YouTube. And you have a charging handle that is utilized to charge the weapon, then a charging handle, but my bad, a side charger on the front near the barrel right there, instead of what you normally have with your charging handle in the back. We have that B&T stock that goes in with this. This is, as stated before, an SBR. And for the most part, a very, very solid setup. Now, I'm reading the paperwork here. The bolt carrier group utilized on this 338R is that of the 6.5 Grendel in 6mm. So that's the bolt carrier group utilized on this setup. However, of course, the bolt head must be that of, I guess, the whole entire bolt carrier group. So I'm guessing then the bolt head has to be the same as the 6.5 Grendel and 6mm as well. This is also available as a pistol, the SBR, and as the full rifle that will come with the same type of stock as well, which is a foldable stock. So it's very easy just to fold it right there. As far as will it shoot, I'm pretty sure it will shoot based upon that angle, but I wouldn't want to shoot this without the with the stock folded. Zeroed controls is what they call this right here. You got the zeroed pistol grip, 10-round magazine that we stated before, zero dropped-in trigger, so that's specific name of the trigger utilized here, patent compact operating system featured right here, and then a free float Dissent specific handguard. Now I did come with a comp also, but we took that out, which we put here with the Bad Larry, and the threads on these are 5/8 by 24. So with that all said, like, how did she shoot? She shot great. Shooting 338 arc though, it definitely has a kick to it, guys. Specifically the supersonic rounds. The subsonic rounds, it didn't feel that much different than a 300 Blackout subsonic. This is where it shines. It shined very pleasantly, no issues, was able, if I wanted to go stupid with it. This though, however, and it's out of this small package, it definitely had that 308 type of kick to it. And it might have had a lot to do with the fact that this is a 6.5-inch barrel, maybe, but it was a very hard kicker and it was very violent. That being said, as I stated before, like, what would I utilize this platform for, right? Supersonic, I'm hunting. You tell me we going hog hunting, you know, I'm out there with this bad boy. I might even throw on this D&T Optics Zulus right here. Like, I might throw that on. Why? First and foremost, this is a night and day scope. It works perfect. I think it would be good for some like hog hunting and all that. I know that this round is very capable out to 100 yards, no issue. And it's a very accurate round as well. Like, I was pretty spot on with my follow-up shots, but this is supersonic. I'm not dumping 3, 4, 5 rounds into something. I'm taking one shot, and that's that shot. I'm shooting it like as far as on a hunting tip. I'm not trying to make multiple shots here. Now the subsonic round, that could be something that I could see being utilized on a self-defense type of ordeal. Still can hunt with it as well, don't get me wrong. And it being a 307 grain bullet, which is stupid. I mean, this thing is huge, bro. The bullet, the actual bullet itself is larger than the case. You know, same goes even for the supersonics. The bullets are bigger than the case. And to know what a 338 arc is, it's a 338 Lapua bullet put inside of a 6.5 Grendel shell casing. It's been necked up to do that, and you got some crazy, crazy ballistics. Compared also a lot to the 8.6 Blackout, they share the same bullet, but the casing utilized on the 338 arc is the 6.5 Grendel, while the 8.6 is that of a 308 casing. And a lot of people have had their speculations on this. I wanted to also say this is a 1/8 twist, and a lot of people feel certain ways about that, particularly for this short barrel length. They want to make sure that their barrel is long enough to give that bullet one full rotation, because the more rotations that the bullets get, the better that spiraling of the bullet is going to happen, and the better ballistic performance and distance and all those things will matter. So I can understand that for some point. I'm not shooting it for super precision, and from what I've seen, it's so far it's extremely accurate. But that being said, I can understand where people would want to go with the 10.5 over something like the 6.5, because the 10.5, that bullet is going to have one solid full rotation before exiting the barrel. Where this one, being 6.5 with a 1/8 twist, it's going to go right about, if it shoots out at 12, you know, it'll make it to about, what, 8 o'clock, right? Something around there, like they'll go on almost, oop, and it's out the bullet. So it doesn't get that full twist. Now a 16-inch barrel, you're gonna have 2 full rotations. So you're gonna have a very nice spiral on that bullet. And that is also why I'm very curious of how the 16-inch could perform as well as the 10.5. I did notice also the suppressor did a good job at suppressing the rounds overall. Even like my camera guy was telling me that he could hear the dirt like erupting as we were shooting. Like it would, and then the dirt was just getting smacked, right? The gas on this particular one, it was in the beginning very gassy. It kind of mellowed out. Subs were not gassy at all. It was really the supersonics. However, there is an adjustable gas setting here that I did not know much about, which I will do a follow-up video on this platform. because I knew there's like a little bit of on the tip here, there's like a little Allen key that you can adjust and tighten down on there to adjust the gas. And I would like to tune that up to see how, soft we can actually get this thing to actually shoot. Because this is a Dissent, so think about that. If this was a buffer tube mechanism, which I believe they also have this in 338 in the Banshee and the Resolute and all that. There's different models for different purposes. The Dissent is the one that's featuring the platform with no buffer system. I think that that buffer will definitely take a lot of that recoil out as well. But all this stops right here. Everything stops right here. So you have a lot of kick, a lot of power going on in a very, very small platform. I mean, this is technically smaller than my Rattler. My Rattler's a 6.75 and a Honey Badger's a 7.5. They both shoot 300 blackout. So this is smaller and shoots a way bigger caliber. It's kind of like what you expect at that point. With that said, though, I had a blast shooting this. This is definitely something we're going to dive deep into more. CMMG has been a dope company for a very long time with the products that they make, and they kind of, innovate a little bit and do a lot of different things, from the Banshees, the Resolutes, the different calibers, the 5.7, 9mm, 45. They have pretty much every caliber covered, and I kind of like what they're doing here, and I like that they brought this out in this particular platform. 338 does have a long way to go. I also wanted to state, though, you do also have ambi controls on the mag release. The bolt release is not ambi, but I just want to say that on the mag release. Mag and safeties are ambi. But 338 ARC, which we're going to do a full dedicated video on the round, will feature this gun in it as well, but it just needs some more time. The main issue I've seen from a lot of people is the magazines, not feeding correctly, but I think that they already are getting on that. We're just going to have to see more and more people adapt and adopt to this. I think that with Hornady's backing, though, we will see more of that, and we'll see how far this thing can get. The caliber is definitely capable of doing what it needs to do. And to keep this in mind, this is a small frame package. The 8.6 that a lot of people compare it to, which is, don't get me wrong, a crazy bullet as well. It's in a way bigger platform. It's in a large frame platform. This is an AR-15 style platform. So stay tuned. This thing was a blast shooting. I didn't have any issues really with it whatsoever as far as feeding goes. It was just a very violent round, though, when it came to supersonic. You'll see in the footage like the kick, but I didn't have any hiccups. I didn't have any feeding issues. 10 rounds did suck. I would like to see some more better magazine compatibility. You got a hand stop built into the mechanism, so the handguard itself was good. It did get a little hot too, but I was out there in 90-degree weather, but it did get hot. But we were shooting a lot downrange. But all in all, the Dissent, I already knew this was going to be a solid platform. I want to do more on the Dissent in like 7.62x39 definitely, and 5.56. I would love to follow up and check that out down the pipeline, but very solid. You can also change the handguard out to either side as well. And if you have any questions, feel free. We'll definitely do a bigger follow-up down the line, and we got some more stuff coming in from CMMG as well, so stay tuned for that. And let me know you guys' thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm out. Peace.